All right, what's up, ladies and gents? Bellman Kostrowski, early slate. Click that thumbs up button. Let's just dive right into this bad boy and run through it. It's only 3 games. There'll be a write-up. It'll be short because there's only 3 games.
Yeah, only 3 gamer. It's a good thing sometimes, though. I like these small slates, to be perfectly honest with you.
I gotcha. And I think there's actually a decent number of pitchers in play for a shorter slate, right? Like, because I think, obviously, Darvish has mostly been trashed by his lofty standards, but he's still the best pitcher on the slate, right?
I agree with that.
Okay. I mean, I think that's fair. Like, he's not super expensive. He's only 9.3. And really, we have just not seen what we're accustomed to. But if somebody's going to drop a 33 spot on you in the slate, it's going to be Darvish, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think he's your best bet, right? If you're going for 30 plus, I would put he'd be the only guy I'd feel comfortable like putting any money on.
Yeah, I am in full agreement with you, my friend.
Okay. All the way down to the bottom, we got a pitcher in play at 4,500. I'm not going to sit here and say I know a ton about Glenn Otto, but he was solid in the minors this year and very good in his first start. He's going against a bad team. So, I mean, he's in play if nothing else.
Yeah, this is definitely one where I want to wait and see ownership, right? Like,
agreed.
I have a feeling he's going to be chalky. And give me the Rockies stack if that's the case. I do feel like one of these games are going to be better. They were close last night. They hit a couple home runs late. Miles was good. I mean, Colorado sucks, but it's a 3-game slate, and we don't know who Otto is. I do know this Arihara sucks. So I have no idea who this Otto is or how good he's going to be.
Agreed. Arihara hasn't pitched in a few months, so I assume he doesn't go too deep into the game, but hey, this guy can give up 5 that quickly.
Yeah, he's not good.
So I'm with you, though. I'm waiting on ownership on this one. It's not out yet, so we'll wait on this one. Then the other guy that I feel, pretty solid about is going to be Kyle Freeland, who's been, he's been good recently. He's been mostly good. I mean, we're talking double digits going back, pre-All-Star break in every single start. Reused some Texas bats last night. They were all right. And Freeland is, I don't know. He makes a lot of sense to me today. I can also understand why the Texas bats would make sense, but I think Freeland makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, I think on paper, Freeland makes a lot of sense. I'm wondering, where people are going to go.
I don't know. So I was looking at the slate before we got on here. I don't know yet.
So just process of elimination, we know that Arizona is not going to be popular. We know that. So we can cross them out. Just going down from pitcher, I think San Diego is very liable to get love.
Agreed. I 1,000,000% agree.
I think Houston's very liable to get love. And I think that Freeland and Otto probably get a lot of love as pitching options.
I don't disagree with that at all. So I don't know where else to go because I don't really like the other offenses, but I'm going to also assume Darvish gets a lot of love because he's easy to afford and Arizona's terrible.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially after Snell last night, etc.
So I figure the pitchers are Darvish, Freeland, Otto. Odorizzi will get a little love. And then I
get a little love. People like picking on Seattle, but I actually think Seattle will get a little love also.
Agreed. Odorizzi's been around for a long time. I think he's like the definition of a mediocre pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a slate that he's in play, though, it's this one.
Sure, why not, right? Especially if he's not getting any love and you just want to hope Otto and Freeland get blown up.
Exactly.
So, if you wanted to stack Colorado and Texas and play Odorizzi with Darvish, I can get on board with that. It's going to be easy to do today, too.
Yeah, same. I mean, if ownership is coming in we think it might, for sure. I do think, though, just looking at this more, San Diego's got to be the most popular team because Weaver is coming back from a long absence. They're the best offense on the slate, probably, except for Houston. But people respect Gilbert a lot more than Weaver.
I agree full-heartedly. So I expect San Diego to be the chalk. And if that's the case, when ownership comes out and San Diego's chalk, give me Houston.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, Tatis is going to be really popular for good reason. Machado homered last night. They just haven't been good. We saw it with Toronto last night. Sure, they could turn it around today, but, I mean, I don't know.
We mentioned it going into the game 2 days ago that, I'm like, you know what? If San Diego's overwhelming chalk, I'm just not that interested. They had their best game in forever. They scored 7 runs. That's a good day. It's not a great day. Followed it up with another 3 last night. They've just been lackluster for weeks now.
Yeah, just not good.
So If you're telling me they're insane chalk, and also like Luke Weaver is not a great pitcher. He never turned into the guy that we thought he might a few years ago, but he's not the worst pitcher in the world either. So he's no guarantee to get blown up.
Ultimately, I like his stuff. He hasn't put it together yet, but when he's on, I mean, I completely agree.
And I do respect Logan Gilbert, but let's not pretend like he doesn't have, given up 14 runs. He got shelled by Houston a couple days ago.
I definitely like Houston more than San Diego, although it's not like Houston's been tearing the cover off the ball either.
No, they haven't. If we had different options, I'd want to go there. I just don't like the other options, mostly because those teams aren't good.
It's funny, like, of all the offenses on this slate, just right now, like the past couple of days, Texas might have the most runs.
Probably. So, again, they're both kind of slumped right now, but San Diego and Houston are obviously heads and shoulders above Colorado, Texas, Arizona, Seattle, who are four of the worst offenses in baseball.
Right.
Now, on this slate.
And those are the other four. That's funny that it's like two top tier that are cold against four, bottom tier, bottom 5, bottom 7 offenses. Not all of them are swinging hot right now, but 1 or 2 of them are.
Agreed. So I don't know. Like I want to talk myself into Arizona because I know that they're not going to get a ton of love today. I just, my feelings on them. They're awful.
Yeah, they will be by far the lowest owned for sure.
I'm trying to tell myself that, but I just can't get excited about them.
For me, like as well as Freeland's pitched, like give me a Texas offense that I've used a couple days in a row now over Arizona against Darvish.
I agree, and I like Freeland more than I like them. Freeland's pitched better than Darvish lately, so
it is like a conundrum. It's a conundrum in that regard too. It's almost like the hitting. Like we know Darvish is better than Freeland, but Freeland's been better recently. So it's interesting. One guy I want to bring up, I might have brought him up yesterday. I'm not sure. Leody Tavares.
He had a big game last night.
Yeah, they were running. Like if they're running like this, like all of a sudden, like they're not like hot, but for Texas they are.
I'm going to say this, and I'm a bigger Kyle Freeland fan than you, so it's harder for me to say this. But if ownership comes in and Texas is unowned and Freeland's chalk, I might just go against my better judgment and stack Texas because I don't like the other offenses today. And Adolis Garcia is a good baseball player, and he's hot. DJ Peters, he didn't have the monster night we were hoping for last night, but he took a walk. He had been good the couple games before. You already mentioned Tavares. Solak is locked in right now. Nate Lowe homered last night. There's a bunch of places to go right here.
Know why else they're just going to be really, really low owned?
They're so cheap and you don't need the salary.
Yeah, they're so cheap. Like you can't even if you stack them, you will be leaving salary on the board, which I'm fine. 3-game slate.
And then just run out of Chalky Tatis because he's just the best hitter in baseball and he could ruin the slate. This is like those short slates with Mike Trout back in the day where you didn't want to play him on ownership, but if you faded him, you knew there's a good chance he just ruined the slate for you. So sometimes you just eat it knowing you can win with or without him.
Yeah, you could go Tatis, Alvarez, Altuve, 5-man Texas stack. You know what I mean?
For sure. So you know what? I think you actually got me looking at Texas today, legit. Even though I really respect Kyle Freeland, he's pitched very well lately, but he's not impervious to getting hit.
No, he's not. But man, like the other side of it is like what we also said. He is just pitching better than Darvish right now.
For a while now, months we're talking. For the last couple of months, he is a lot better than Darvish from a real life perspective.
I like going to Freeland when I think he's underrated. You're higher on him in general than I am, but I think he's underrated. I think he's a solid pitcher. And most of the time the field is never on him. He pitches in cores. He's not usually in good spots. Today, I think the field is going to be on him.
That's a good point. Also, Darvish has given up multiple runs in every start since July started. Everyone.
I also hate going to teams that they didn't end up getting no hit last night, but Snell threw 7 no-hit innings and then they got a couple singles. I hate going to pitchers after that, like against that team.
Man, maybe you're shifting me mid-argument. Maybe I'm going to go out of character today and go Arizona.
I still feel better about picking on Freeland than Darvish personally, but I also really want to see ownership because I could also see a situation where both Freeland and Texas get love, right? There's no chance Arizona gets love.
Yeah, I'm shifting mid-video. I'm going to grab my balls and play Arizona today and then complement it with good San Diego and Houston players.
I also could see, Houston got shut out last night. If I had to pick one offense that was like going to go off today, it's Houston.
All right. I think I'm going to combo Houston and Arizona and then maybe just throw in Tatis because he's awesome.
He's amazing.
So, and then from a pitching perspective, I'll probably ride Kyle Freeland and then either go with Otto or Odorizzi.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to feel great about those guys, but that's just the nature of this slate.
Yeah, I just want everybody to like really, you brought up the sticky substance stuff a couple months ago. And since then, we've watched a bunch of good pitchers not be good. Like Darvish gives up big power. This guy's given up multiple home runs now and a bunch of starts recently. He gives up a home run at every start.
I'll never forget the bomb Marquez hit off him. Like, I'll never forget that.
So, again, he still strikes guys out, but
they've got decent BVP off him. Like Peralta, who's looked better in recent days, 7 of 18. Ketel Marte, 5 of 14. Christian Walker, 5 of 15. Like, those are good numbers. And that was when Darvish was an ace.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm rarely on Arizona, but you got me on them today. And then I will just compliment them with good hitters, a la Alvarez or Tatis and something like that.
Machado's 5 of 13 with a couple bombs off Weaver, and he went yard last night. I like him as a one-off.
Sure, you can get Trevor Story in this lineup.
I'm glad that I brought that up, too, because I could, think about the offenses that we're talking about, Texas and Arizona. Not going to be surprised at all if those teams, don't score a lot. Also not going to be surprised if Houston and San Diego don't score a lot. I don't think you have to stack on this slate, and I rarely say that.
Well, I'm always on board with mini stacks, so I can definitely get on board with that as well. So, all right, gun to head as of right now this morning, I'm probably going to roll Otto, Freeland, play some pieces from Arizona, and then just use some of the best players available. And that could be Trevor Story, Altuve, however it kind of works out. I'll probably pick my favorite pieces from Arizona and then complement it with the best players from Houston and San Diego. Maybe Trevor Story.
Yeah. I'm more on Texas than Arizona as of now, but ownership will change everything for me.
Agreed.
Definitely think Houston I want pieces of Houston. Maybe I won't full stack them, but I want pieces.
Yeah. We mention it with Alvarez all the time. This guy's just legit. Any day you want to one off him, he's always a prem candidate.
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today. Good luck. We'll talk to you about the night stuff in a minute.
Thanks, guys.